morning and welcome to Viewpoint, your program of personalities, politicians, and perspectives. This morning we have politicians gone to the wastebasket, and we're going to have personalities and perspectives this morning. And by the way, that wasn't a bad move to get the politicians off the table. But having said that, Lloyd, you know, here in Lincoln, we're pretty lucky. We've got some pretty doggone representation down there in Springfield with the folks we send down there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've had them
kudos
here.
Speaking of kudos, Gene and I went to the Harvest of Talents the other day for the Christian Church, the annual program they have. It's amazing. That organization from the time that they've started that program, Harvest of Talents, they've amassed over $2 million to give away.
Wow.
That's incredible. That's just incredible. And speaking of incredible, the old man did it again. We're double booked this morning, folks. The old man is going to bifurcate the morning for you, if you excuse the expression there. Go ahead, why don't you introduce our guest this morning for the first half of this morning.
Our first half of the show, we have from Lincoln Daily News, Karen Hargis and Nila Smith, who are not here necessarily for Lincoln Daily News, but I guess in a manner of speaking, as the organization is sponsoring an upcoming event on October 6th. So, ladies, thanks for joining us. You want to tell us about the Pink Pumpkin fundraiser auction?
Well, Lloyd and Bill, we just want to thank you for having us today. On October 6th, it's a Thursday night, we are going to have a pink pumpkin auction at Collision Concepts there by Culver's. We've done this for about 5 years, and it's been amazing what the community has done for American cancer through these auctions. There's a live auction and there's a silent auction, and right now we've got 50 people decorating pumpkins to go off as live auctions with Mike Mosky that night. And then we've got silent auction items, people just giving and giving. It's just a wonderful, humbling experience for us that this community is so giving.
I think, ladies, if you, by your leave, it might be appropriate if we would express our appreciation to Collision Concepts out there next to Culver's restaurant on Route 10 West. He's given freely of his services and property, so go right ahead, Nila.
Yeah, Collision Concepts is owned and operated by Irv and Cindy Gayette, and they have been huge in helping us get this off the ground. Actually, it was Cindy and the late Roy Logan who came up with this idea of having this fundraiser. We all have personal connections to people who have suffered from breast cancer, warriors that have won, warriors that have passed and gone on to a better place. And so we do all of this in memory of the people that we loved and lost. And Cindy is a big advocate of that, and she's had a lot of close friends that she has helped along the way during their journey with breast cancer. But they are just totally invested, and they're only one group. They have all of their staff is invested, all of their staff helps out. It's a big event that we start getting ready for about noon on Thursday. Then we have so many other people that support it. We want to mention Brad and Jennifer Luckhart. We feed everybody who comes, and Brad and Jennifer give us the food. And so they come in every year and they lay out a spread that is just remarkable. And they do it just completely, nothing out of our pockets. So we are able to genuinely say every penny that we earn through the auction goes to the American Cancer Society because we have so much support. The pumpkins that are decorated for the live auction are mainly donated by area businesses, and very few of them are left out. We could walk around the downtown square and say she gave, he gave, they gave. And the same with our silent auction items. We'll have, if history repeats itself this year, we will have 50 pumpkins for the live auction. We'll have a little over 100 items for the silent auction. We also sell luminaria. We want to mention Bill Post. Bill has been a big advocate for selling the luminaria at Relay for Life for years and years, and he's there with us. We'll have raffles. We have surprise bags. And we have a lot of fun. We'll have our Logan County royalty will be there. And Bethany Rademacher told me recently, said we always mark our calendar for Pink Pumpkin. Said it's our favorite time of year, so we will definitely be there. So there's a lot that goes into it. And while Karen and I spend a lot of time being spokesmen, we are just small spokes in the wheel. There's a huge group that is invested in this, and we want to appreciate all of them. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
I want to repeat what I think I just heard Ms. Smith. Irv not only donates his facilities, but his associates, his employees, are there to help you out and they do a lot of kicking in.
Yeah, you need to we need to kind of appreciate what they do, because they are a business, and we use their back area, their garage. They shut down right after lunch, and those guys go to work and they clean every inch of that back garage. They move all of the tools and equipment and make a nice, safe area for our guests. Illinois American Water, for the last few years, has gone to the fairground. We borrow tables and chairs from the Logan County Fair Board. They go there and pick those up. They bring them out. Irv and Cindy's staff, as soon as that wagon gets there, they start hauling everything out. They lay everything out the way we want it. They wipe tables. They put on tablecloths. They carry items out and put them on the auctions. And then they are there all night long. They stay until the last guest has left to clean up and pick up so that they can go to work the next morning. And if someone buys something large and they need help getting it out to their vehicle, the guys always wear their pink shirts or their breast cancer awareness shirts, and we'll point them out and say, go grab that guy and tell him you need some help. And they're always very courteous and very happy to do that for us. So we greatly appreciate all the effort they put into it.
You know, Lloyd, that's kind of what we do here in Logan County for causes such as this pink pumpkin. Must be early this morning. I guess my teeth are not adjusted in my head yet. I should put them in better. But we do well in getting together, and of course, American Cancer Society is as well known as any charity that appears on the surface today. So we've got the local folks, and this really benefits who knows how many people.
Right, yeah, the reach definitely, it impacts a lot of people. The event, October 6th, doors open at 5 p.m. If people are interested in attending, do they need to get tickets to this, or can just anyone show up, or how does that part work?
It's just come on in.
Okay.
We try to be prepared, and, worst case scenario, if we run out of food, we'll order pizza, but that has never happened. The Lockharts never let us run out of food. We do want to kind of give you guys some statistics, because a lot of people want to know when they're supporting a not-for-profit whether or not that money is being spent in the manner it should. And we want to start out with each year. In 2022, there will be approximately 287,000 women diagnosed with breast cancer, and that is 30% of all cancers that are diagnosed in women. There are approximately 72 different varieties of cancers that can occur in the human body. So for 30% of those cancers in women to be breast cancer, that's a huge number. People also think that breast cancer is a lady disease. It is not. Men can get breast cancer. It's a much smaller ratio. About 5,000 men this year will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Among the women, 43,000 of them will die. That number is down, and it's dropping about 1% a year, and the reason it is dropping is due mainly to education and awareness and early detection. And that's what we strive to tell people about, is do your self-exams, go to your doctor, know your body, and know when something doesn't look right, feel right, because it probably is not right, and you want to have it checked out. Not every problem that a woman experiences in her breast is going to be cancer, but don't you want to know if you've got a battle ahead of you, you want to get started in that war as soon as possible. And we're going to share, just real briefly, the money that was spent. American Cancer Society is required to publish all of their financial records, their annual reports, and their 990s, or I think it's 990s for a not-for-profit. And their fiscal year ends in September, so they're always about a year behind. In 2021, American Cancer Society invested $63 million in education for cancer awareness. They did $1.616 million in direct patient assistance. That was money to patients that needed it in desperate situations. They spent $27 million for lodging for patients so they could go to travel a distance for their treatments. And they spent $198 million in research grants. And 6 hospitals in Illinois do receive money from that. So it does stay in our state, at least, the research money, but their research money is spent worldwide. And they've made some remarkable discoveries and developments, medications that are being developed now that are making life much better for cancer patients, and also seeing some cure rates. We use the word cure with a little bit of reservation, because once you've had cancer, very few people ever consider that they're cured. Right. They might be on vacation, they might be in remission, but they always live the rest of their life with knowing that cancer could return. So it's using the word cure is, we do that carefully. But we hope, there's always hope that someday we can stay cured and say it correctly and know that that is a fact.
You know, Jim, we ought to make a reporter out of that girl.
If I may.
Well, she does nice. By the way, she takes good pictures for the Daily News, too.
Thank you so much.
648-5510. This is a very, we can have a little laugh now and then up here. But this morning's subject matter is quite serious. We have no idea of how many people that affects, and a lot of people go through life and worry with this problem and don't have anybody to lean on, or don't know where to go for some help. So the American Cancer Society fundraiser this next October the 6th out at IRVS at Collision Concepts is a good place to go. Not only to get some of the good Luckhart food, but come out there and open your purse strings a little bit. Don't take your purse out of your shoes and open them up a little bit.
Bring your appetite for the Nuthatch Hill Barbecue, and bring your checkbook for the American Cancer Society.
And we take cash, checks, credit cards, debit cards. If you've got a way to deliver the money, we'll figure out a way to take it.
And let me add, we do it more than just at the Pink Pumpkin auction. We do it all year long, 365 days. If people have money in memory of somebody that they want to donate, Lincoln Daily News will take it every day. So we have people giving us designer pumpkins, we have people giving us silent auctions, and we have people giving us checks for American Cancer. So we have resources, so if anybody needs to know, literature or a phone number, or reach out to Lincoln Daily News. We want to be that source for American Cancer and for our people.
Yeah.
Now, these designer pumpkins are available for sale to your folks out there?
Yeah, Mike Mosky volunteers his time, and he does a tremendous job of drawing every last penny out of that pocketbook we were talking about. But he will auction each item individually in the pumpkin auction. So it takes us about an hour. He goes through it quite quickly. It takes us about an hour to do that, and we have had items sell for as high as $2,000.
Oh my!
And we've seen battles between people who really wanted to contribute, and probably if they had a loss, they'd have just written the check anyway because they really want to help. We're going to run out of time, but we also want to mention pink shirts.
Oh, yes. So exactly. I think I have one starting even this Friday, but I'm starting to take pictures of any business or organization that will wear pink shirts. We're going to take their picture or have them take a picture and send it to us, and we put that in Lincoln Daily News all of October, and we end up with 4 and 5 a day because this is a huge deal. People love to support people who are going through trauma, and it's a solidarity move on the community's part to say, hey, we care, and we're thinking about you, we're behind you.
And so if you want to have your picture taken, you can get a hold of Karen, and she is the scheduler, but I will go out and help her take pictures as needed. But we would like to have as many as possible. We have had as many as the year before coronavirus. I think we had about 1,500 people who participated, and some of them were very, very large groups. Some of them were just 1 or 2. But altogether, I think we published about 150 photos.
Wow. And so if people are interested in that or interested in donating for the auction, you have contact information, a phone number or email or anything you want to put out there?
My number is 217-737-7418, and that phone goes with me day and night, so call me anytime.
But not after 10 o'clock at night.
I may not answer, but you can leave a message.
You can call me after 10 o'clock.
She's still up doing the paper.
That's true.
Well, what's the expression? It takes a village. Mm-hmm. We have a village here in Lincoln, Logan County. We have a number of people such as Karen and Nila who see something that needs to be done, and they just grab a hold of the reins and hit the road.
Absolutely.
And so we need to express our appreciation to not only these volunteers, but the other folks that you have other volunteers that work with you on this
We have
committee.
a whole network of people, and I know we're going to leave someone out if we try to name them all. New to our group this year is Annie Coors. Tremont Bank, the new Lincoln branch, is opening. Well, actually, it's open now, and they're going to do grand openings this week. And she has joined our group. Nancy Cunningham is part of our group, and that has been in the last year. Lisa Ramlow works for Tremont Bank now, used to work for CCA Online, and she was made a transition there. She's part of our group. Some of our staff, and Janice Funk, retired from Hartsburg.
Green.
No.
Elkhart Green.
Elkhart Green, yeah.
Right.
She's part of our group. My husband in there, he helps out once in a while, and we kind of corner him and make him do things.
Lincoln Printers.
Lincoln Printers, Noah Atkins. He does a lot of work for us for free, and
That's
we
a nice
just
service.
truly appreciate all the signs that we get to put out along the road and all of that. He does all of that, and just out of the kindness of his heart. So it's all good. We love it. We love the people that we work with, and we deeply appreciate the people who come and spend money and give it to.
They're the best kind, aren't they, Nila?
They are the best kind.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't say, Bill, that people like you who have shown us the way. We have good people in this community that have shown us generosity and how to share. And so it's just our turn, and we just pray that, what we're doing, we can pass on to the next generation.
I was just sitting here thinking, we're talking about a charity. And when I was a kid, my father was very active in the Elks organization, and they had a charity called, imagine using this word, Crippled Children.
Yes.
They used those 2 words, Elks, Crippled Children. And we had a county nurse, that was Irma Potter, a lovely lady. And at that time, I digress just a minute here, Lloyd. We had an orthopedic man come from Peoria, Illinois, and the Elks would have a clinic every month. And in the summer, as 4th of July, they always had a big fundraiser at one of the parks. And all the guys got together, and games here and games there, and raised a lot of money for the, quote, crippled children. Imagine using that expression today.
Yeah, and the Elks still do those clinics. I think they've got one coming up in October. And parents can call and make an appointment with the Elks to get their child in and have them checked.
I think Jim just mentioned it on the air this morning during our community calendar. So we're talking, of course, with Nila Smith and Karen Hargis about the upcoming Pink Pumpkin fundraiser auction, October 6th at Collision Concepts out on, it's actually on Macon Street is the street address, but it's Woodlawn out there
Next door to Culver's.
next to Culver's, yeah. Silent auction, or the doors open rather, at 5 p.m. You do not need a ticket or any kind of reservation. Just walk in and, like we said, bring your appetite, bring your checkbook, credit card, cash, and support a good cause. All the proceeds go to the American Cancer Logan County Relay for Life. So,
Well, Karen Hargis called the old man some time ago now to set up an interview to talk about this.
now watch it, because she called me and I emailed you.
Well,
Talk to you both.
so I'm sitting here blushing to the best of my abilities. However an old man can blush. Can't get the blood up there that far to blush too much. But I owe Karen and Nila a big apology, because we'll have to bifurcate this program this morning and bring in our next guest, because the old man failed to write down Karen's name on his calendar. And maybe that's just to your benefit too, Karen. So we'll take a commercial break at this time and thank Nila Smith and Karen Hargis. We're talking about the American Cancer Society fundraiser that's coming up Thursday, October the 6th at Irv's at the Collegian Concepts, right out there next to Culver's. Go out there and eat and spend some money. Right back live in the studios here. The program is Viewpoint-09 each Wednesday morning at 08:15 to 900 hours at WLCN, County Road 2250. Our guest this morning is going to be introduced very shortly by my sidekick here, Mr. Loyd Kirby. And I just want to give, again, Lloyd, I think I'm going to offer a public apology to Karen Hargis and Nila Smith for double booking them today. Because some time ago I'd stopped out to the place of employment for our guest this morning and talked to her about appearing, and I did that without benefit of calendar. So here we are. Nobody's gotten bruised by the whole thing. So let's go ahead and introduce our guest this morning, sir.
All right, so for part 2 of our program today, we have Deb Maaks, who's the administrator for Copper Creek Cottages. And I was looking on the internet doing a little research. Is it true that today is World Alzheimer's Day?
Yes.
So how about that? September 21st each year is World Alzheimer's Day, and Copper Creek Cottages, of course, helps folks that have all sorts of memory care issues, and here we are. So let's talk about memory care. Yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and talk about Copper Creek.
I mentioned Mrs. Maaks coming up this morning. How lucky the community is to have a facility such as Copper Creek and Timber Creek there on the west side of town. That answers a need for many people, not only the patients, or the residents, I should say. I don't know whether to say residents or patients, Debbie.
Well, you can say residents.
I think
I
that's
just call
probably
them
more
all mine.
appropriate. Yeah. So it answers the need for them, and importantly, as important or perhaps more important for their families, because mom or dad has gotten along, and maybe this doesn't particularly mean just old people. You have younger people in here with memory care problems.
We absolutely do.
And
We absolutely do.
That's a serious problem. My wife thinks that I have a very serious, and I just demonstrated this morning, I do have a memory problem. So, but specifically, what do you do out there for somebody says brings dad or mother in there and says, we don't know what to do?
Well, basically, I try to make them understand that it's better for them to come and be in an environment that is safe. That is our biggest priority, is that Copper Creek Cottages are safe. We're secure. We have doors that don't open, and that we've coded and stuff. It also takes a load off of them. I try to convince and make them see by touring and taking them to meet our residents who are already there that they are content, they are happy, and that's what we do. We try to keep them as happy and have as much fun as they possibly can. We want it to be their home. And we take care of all kinds of dementia. And in the early stages, you could walk in off the street and visit with some of our people and never know that deficit was there. But we have, it's a steady routine, but it's also at their own pace. If, say, Jane Doe doesn't want to get up at 7 o'clock and go to be at breakfast at 8 o'clock, she doesn't have to. If she prefers to wake up at 9 or 10, we fix her breakfast if that's what she wants. We do everything for them. We do all kinds of activities that can involve a group, or it can involve 2 or 3 people. And it takes time to get people to come out of their shell sometimes, to trust you and to know that you're going to take care. We do one-on-one activities. We take them for walks. And we do use the trail at the hospital a lot. Not me so much. I don't love walking that much.
Well, say, either way, that is a nice trail. It goes around that lake out there, and they got the fountain in the middle of it. Aesthetically, but more important than the aesthetics, it's the benefit of the actual walking on that trail.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And I might add, you don't have to have a mental problem to do that.
No.
The brain is a very complex thing, very complex. None of us will ever fathom what goes on up there between the ears. But is there medication that's available out there on the street that helps brain diseases per se?
You're making me in a sticky place here. Yes, there is. Yes, there are medications caught early that I believe help with memory loss. I believe that it can help with definitely some of the behaviors that come with the different types of dementia. But it's mostly how you react to these people who have dementia. If you stay calm, they calm. If you let them talk about the past because that's what they remember the best, and go along with that's the easiest thing. That's one thing at Copper Creek, we never say no. We never say, oh, you can't do that.
Well, I see.
We redirect, change their mind. Joke around. Laughter and music are the best things in the world for them.
Is it fair to say, Mrs. Maaks, that dementia comes in different forms?
Absolutely.
And different degrees, I guess, would
Absolutely.
be the right phraseology.
Most people don't bring their family member until it's difficult for them to help take care of them. And at that point in time, they still don't want to admit that they can't do this any longer, So yes, we have varying degrees. We have from the very first stages, and we will keep the residents at Copper till the very end. When we can't any longer, when it takes more than 2 of us to help move or whatever, we have hospice come in. Then we have the aids of things that we need, the extra help that we need. We never want them to have to leave. We want this to be the last move they make, because moving them confuses them. It confuses people so bad. It's awful. It's one move can take somebody downhill, and you can never tell. They might go from being mildly impaired and go in months and just be at the very last stages. They can go for years.
There's a part of dementia that causes people to be unruly. They get unruly. They get hard to handle.
Yes.
That's a very difficult thing to work with. Do you have to restrain people in their beds from time to time?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's not that kind of a facility at all.
No, and hopefully there's no facilities that restrain people anymore. But I've been there. Back when I first started 37 years ago, we had bed restraints, we had chair restraints, but that wouldn't work for somebody with dementia because they're only going to fight harder. So what would be the use of that? Yeah. And we also, I am proud to say that we will not chemically restrain anybody to the point where they're
That's an important point to make, Mrs. Maaks. You just said that you do not use any medication at all to
snow them, to make them just
change their personalities.
No. Maybe to calm them down a little bit.
That's a different story.
Medications, yes, but for somebody to sit and not be able to function, we refuse to do that. And on the rare occasion, I think maybe twice, we have sent somebody out that we really couldn't control. And my nurses take their nursing measures, and we completely will wean them off whatever they send them back on because of the way they come back. They just are apathetic, and that's not who we are. We want to have fun.
Now, if somebody out there in the listening area has a concern about a family member, how would they go about contacting Copper Creek and to see if, number one, if their family member is a candidate to be a resident there, and then when residencies occur, because I suspect in a facility like yours, you're pretty well bed full.
Yes, we are full, and we have been full since 2019, steady, and we do have a waiting list, which I love and I don't love. Part of me wants them to build on an extra wing, but then I wouldn't be full all the time, maybe. But what I would want them to do, they can contact me at 217-651-8364. I love to talk about it and what we do. I will physically go and screen the person if necessary, but 9 times out of 10, after talking with the family and talking with the physician, then I know whether we can take them or not. And we try not to turn anybody away.
Now, Timber Creek, adjacent to Copper Creek, is under the same corporate ownership?
Well, all the facilities have owners, and so we are privately owned. And yes, our management groups have different names, different titles, but they're the same people. So, yeah, it's a pretty well-oiled machine.
So describe how you determine whether a person goes to Copper Creek or Timber Creek.
Okay, Timber Creek is assisted living, so the people there are independent, pretty much. They have help with their medications, that people will remind them to take their medications and things like that. They can come and go as they please over there as long as they're okay to do that. We, however, only take people with memory care issues. And we have a nurse only passes medications. We have to have more staff, obviously, because we have more of a handful. We both cook 3 home-cooked meals. We both offer all kinds of activities where her people next door in Timber Creek are independent to come down and do whatever they want to do. They remind them, of course, what's going on. Our people, we have to pretty much go get them and bring them out. COVID was a bad thing for us because they wanted everybody in their rooms, and that's not what we want. And, you know, we were not to have group activities and things like that, and it changed the whole scheme of things for a little bit, but we're back to normal.
648-5510. Our guest this morning, Mrs. Deborah Maaks, who is administrator of Copper Creek here just on the west side of town, on just a few hundred yards south of the hospital. I guess it goes without saying that all of us are going to reach a point where we have memory lapses. Some of us have a little more than others, as demonstrated this morning. But seriously, forgetfulness. Is that an early sign? Is that an early warning, or is that just part of aging?
That's part of aging.
That's what I would like to think. Because Lord knows I get forgetful. I'd like to think that's not an indication.
Absolutely not. Indications would be forgetting where you left something all the time, not being able to remember that your daughter was just here yesterday and visited you, getting lost driving a vehicle, not being able to pay your bills. just normal, everyday household things that just aren't there anymore. Cooking on the stove and walking away and leaving it. Dangerous things. Going outside of your house to take a walk and then not remembering where you're at and being lost. It's things like that. It's not absolutely not being forgetful.
And so when people come to you and are considering, a family member or whatever to be a resident there, do they necessarily need a medical referral, or can a family come to you and just talk to you individually?
Absolutely. They can come call me, and by the time they decide that if that's what they're going to do and that's what they want to do, most of our doctors are local, and they see them, and we send them a form that says that they need to be monitored 24/7. They need 24-hour-a-day care is what they need, and they need a place that is safe and secure, which we are. They need a dementia facility, and I did tell you that that's all we take care of. But if we have a spouse, and the other half of the marriage relationship is not got dementia, they come and they are allowed to live with them. And we do have some 2-bedroom apartments that are big, and we have our studio apartments. But yes, that's absolutely what happens.
So in addition to the medical sorts of treatments and activities, you've also got a lot of other activities that go on out there at your facility as well, involving not only the residents but also some that the public can kind of participate. Do you have some of those upcoming you'd like to tell us about?
One I would like to kind of put out there is that on the 30th of this month, we're having a huge rummage sale. We have a lot of donated stuff, and everybody's bringing their things in, but it's not even just to sell that. It is, we are taking our donations and would love monetary donations also for Alzheimer's. We do things every year, every month, really. We have raffles that family members get in on and things like that. All the money goes to serve Alzheimer's, and since we didn't have a local walk this year, that's exactly what we're going to raise our money at our rummage sale for Alzheimer's. So we're hoping to get a lot of monetary donations and send them off. It's a passion that we all have. I would love to see the white flower held one day for a survivor of Alzheimer's. I really would.
And if people are interested in donating to that,
if they're interested in donating, have them, just give me a call, and I will accept all the money you give me to send off. But even other donations or things, we have a sock monkey right now that one of my nurses, Janice Stewart, crocheted for us, and he's holding a little sign that says "Sock it to Alzheimer's." So he's our big raffle thing for right now. So yeah, we'll have in October, I believe on the 29th, we are part of the little Halloween parade that goes through with the nursing homes and things, and it's easy, it's fun out for us because they can start either way at Timber, Copper, St. Clara's, and then Castle Manor, or the opposite way. And we've done it this is our second annual one for that. But usually we...
Mr. Kirby, in preparation for this morning, I tried to Google up information on Alzheimer's, but every site I got up, all they did was tell me how to give money. And I was a little disappointed because I really wanted to research a little bit on medically about this Alzheimer's business, because it's an insidious thing for families, and nobody has any control over that.
No, there is, and Alzheimer's itself, they can't diagnose it truly scientifically until the person's gone. Mm-hmm. But what it's like. I knew this would happen. I'd forget the exact word, but it's little things in your brain that just twist up and they kill off part of the brain. There's so many different kinds of dementia. There's like a Lewy body, and there's I'm going to say this wrong. It's frontal temporal, which
spell
happens
that way.
In very young.
THAT.
That's it. That happens like in the whole front of the brain, and it really gets people that are young. The Lewy body is more of a dementia that has a lot of hallucinations and a lot of terror. People are just scared. And normal dementia just kind of losing it. There's Parkinson's.
Dementia is much as a disease as cancer is.
It is.
We have no control over what our brain's going to do up there.
Absolutely
And
not.
suddenly you have somebody in your family that Uncle George is not doing very well. And that's the beginning of dementia.
Right.
And so as a facility, since there isn't a true diagnosis, you just look for the symptoms and try to treat the symptoms.
Right,
and
and a
help
doctor will
people.
give us that diagnosis because it is dementia.
Right.
And Alzheimer's dementia has kind of a different tone to it. It's all. The one thing I would like to say, if you guys don't care, is we have 30 apartments and there's 15 on each side. So it's a relatively small area, so the residents and the staff all know each other, and it's not strangers coming in all the time. They know each other, and they kind of cling to each other, and they have their own way of doing everything they want to do. And the staff rotates sides for the most part, but we try to keep them on the same side because they know their little quirks and the things they want best. How to react in a situation to bring them down, to calm down. And it's a very calm environment. It really is. I am amazed how calm that we can be. And it's not always that way. A lot of it depends on staff attitude, too.
But your residents require a different type of care as opposed to a floor nurse at Memorial Hospital. Your nurses at Copper Creek, they have to have some special training.
All my staff has training for Alzheimer's and for dementia disease. They absolutely have to know how to work around them. And so it's not cut out for everybody's not cut out for it. Absolutely not. I have a phenomenal staff, and I will praise them till the day I'm not here anymore.
Yeah. Well, when you place your father or your mother, the case may be, or whomever in your family, in a facility such as Copper Creek, when you walk away from there, you'd like to know that loved one is going to be well cared for. And I see demonstrating with your commitment to Copper Creek and its residents, so the families can be well assured that grandma's going to be, or grandfather's going to be well taken care of.
That is 100%.
And they don't have to be grandparents. It could be Aunt Mary or your mother.
Anybody. It could be anybody. Absolutely. Husband, wife. And they do walk away with that feeling. It may take time for some, just like it takes time for someone to settle in sometimes. Sometimes people just walk in that door and they're happy as a lark and everything's great. But my biggest satisfaction after the fact that we take care of our residents and love them like our own is that the families can go home at night and rest assured that they are safe, that they really are safe. And my door is always open. I think almost all of them we have a work cell, but I think they've all got my home cell. And I will try to fix any problem that there is as quickly as I can. And if I can't, I can let you know why. It's you have to be true and you have to love what you do. I do absolutely love this place. It's amazing.
And you mentioned earlier music and laughter sort of go a long way toward helping your residents there. Do you have any kind of events or special programs where people will come in and maybe play music or anything?
Yes, and we're finally getting back to that because our poor residents had to listen to us sing and dance and act fools. But we do have people come in and perform. One of our very favorites is Michael Garrett. He plays 60s and some 70s music. And, at first, he started to play Wipeout the very first time he was there, and I'm like, what in the world is he doing? But they loved it. And then I got to thinking, these guys are my mom's age or younger or older, but they had to listen to us listen to that, so they recognize that music. We try to have music on everywhere anyway. They love Christmas movies. We love to just walk around and talk and joke around, and laughter is the biggest thing for them. I mean, it really, really is. You get the best hugs. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing.
You know, in a facility such as Copper Creek, nutrition is going to be a serious part of their facility. Planning ahead for meals, purchasing what you need for your kitchens. That's a big deal.
It is. It is. We follow menus that are given to us by our food supplier. However, we have the opportunity to go through those menus before we serve, before we start them. And we change up a lot of stuff as long as it's nutritionally correct. Our home office will let us do that because we know what our people are going to eat. We know what they like. We home cook our meals. I mean, granted, we buy our food, but we don't use a lot of processed food. It's only 30 people that we cook for. We home bake our pies. We mash our own potatoes and we peel them. We just try, and we use frozen vegetables opposed to canned. But yes, and I will also tell you this, that if someone's not hungry that day for their food, we try to find anything else we could possibly trick them into eating or convince them that they love. And if they just want their cookies or another piece of cake, they get that too. So, it's all about getting food in them and keeping them happy at this stage in life. I mean, it is what it is, because at one point in time, they will quit eating. They will forget how to chew and to swallow, and they just won't. And that's sad.
You mentioned group gatherings. Do you do that on a frequent basis?
Yes.
Kind of so that everybody will be involved, however simple it may be, or maybe a little more complicated.
Yes, we do. We try to get a lot of people out to do like a crafting activity. One day, we had everybody sitting outside under the gazebo with their feet in the pool on one really hot day. Just silly things like that. But then those are things they enjoy. Some nights, starting up soon now that it's going to be cooler, we'll just have a little fire outside and roast some marshmallows. Some things as simple as that, but we also do things like we play cards, we do nails, we play games, we do a lot of crafts. That's about, and they like to come to our in-services too. We're having a staff in-service and put their 2 cents in.
648-5510. You got about a minute and a half to call Miss Deborah Maaks, who's the administrator at Copper Creek, a facility we're very lucky to have here in Lincoln, Illinois. Other than that, folks would have to take their families 15, 20, 30 miles away. And so it's marvelous to have this facility right here.
It absolutely. We're blessed.
And one of the things I would think with the folks that you deal with, because it's dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever it might be, that affects their brain, but physically they might be in very good shape.
Absolutely.
So it's quite a different type of care that you have to administer than someone in like a traditional nursing home type of setting that might have physical ailments.
And the lucky thing for having Copper Creek and places like us is that a skilled nursing facility is not where somebody with dementia should be, because they are scared of all the hubbub and all the noise and the lights and the bells, and we do not have an overhead intercom system. We don't have anything that's going to startle them. I always have to train new staff not to let the door slam behind them and to let it shut quietly, because that scares me. I jump, but it's very calm. It's very quiet, and I'm not saying we don't get loud when, we're doing an activity. We had one activity where my residents were laughing so hard because we all had deer antlers on, and we're hiding behind the Christmas trees and stuff. We put them out before we decorated, and they were shooting us. But fun things like that, but as far as loudness and people yelling, we don't. It's just calm.
Deborah Maaks, administrator of Copper Creek. We appreciate your taking your time with us, and we know you have a busy schedule, and we'll get you back to work right away. So thank you very much, Mrs. Maaks, for being with us to tell us about Copper Creek.
Well, thank you for having me. I was very, very honored to be.